your longevity lifestyle designers. This is Zach here with Secrets of Longevity in Humans.com, as well as martin-kilgour.com. And I'm about to have a cold shower, and I wanted to show you how to do that if you were incapable of doing that. Also, just to talk about them a little bit, I know you're probably capable of turning the tap to cold, but it's something that is perhaps, I hear a lot of people talking about it, but it's definitely a difficult thing to do. But some of the benefits of a cold shower, I've gone over this in another video in the past, actually my 12th video on this channel. So if you go to YouTube and search Secrets of Longevity as one word, because that's my username, and then number 12, you're going to get the 12th episode pop up, and it was one of my episodes at Hippocrates Health Institute, and I was talking about, actually I had a friend of mine talking about the hot-cold therapy that you can engage in, where you sit in the hot tub for a bit, then you switch over to the cold plunge pool, which is a really icy cold pool. It's actually probably colder than you can actually even make your shower go, unless you live in a cold climate where the water is frozen, or not frozen, but really cold in the pipes. You might get close to that, but yeah, the whole idea switching between hot and cold is to sort of get a pumping action in the blood vessels. So what happens when you get into cold water and get your whole body submerged in cold water, or have a cold shower going over you, or a cold waterfall, is the blood at first rushes to the skin, to the very outer edge of the skin, as almost like it's because it's shocking, and the body's almost trying to protect yourself from it. And this will result in sort of a pink color developing on your skin, and you'll actually see that after you get out of the shower. You have your whole body's like kind of rosy pink, if you're Caucasian, that is. And then when you switch to hot water, if you decide to do the hot-cold switching back and forth, is the blood moves more towards the inside of the body, and that's sort of like the idea of when you're sleeping, you're all wrapped up and you're warm, and all that blood moves to the inner organs and to the core of the body because you're so warm on the outside. So people's first thought is like warm water should bring the blood to the outside of the body, but cold water should drive it deeper. And yes, if you're to stay under for an extended period of time, that would happen, but in terms of the body's first reaction to experiencing hot or cold, it's going to do, for a cold, it's going to rush to the surface because it's a defense mechanism. And then after, if you were to stay in the cold for longer than 10 minutes, for instance, you're going to start getting the water going deeper in, and that might not be as beneficial, because then you're getting close to sort of like a hypothermia type state. So my opinion is that cold showers are very beneficial. You just want to keep them around between 1 and 6 minutes. 1 minute is sort of the minimum you want to be able to get the benefits of them. And to read about all the benefits, check out the article below. I wrote this article a while back, and it covers all the benefits of cold showers, and it's actually a lot more extensive than you think. And cold showers, or cold bathing, or cold water therapy has been used by several different cultures in the past. And even the Abkhazians of the Caucasus region of Russia, which is a known longevity culture, they engage in this cold water therapy by jumping. A lot of the men will go jump in streams, and this was talked about in a National Geographic interview, where the guy visiting that region of the world was having a hard time keeping up with his, I think he was like in his 90s, he was going for a brisk walk through the woods with this older man, and then all of a sudden they come to a stream, and he stripped off and just jumped into this literally mountain stream with probably glacial temperature waters coming down it, and the author or the interviewee just couldn't even like go in up to his ankles. It was so cold. But this old man was jumped in, and he did this regularly, and this is so invigorating to the body. It flushes toxins from the skin. It is great for lymphatic flushing. It's great for I don't want to say curing, but it's a remedy for any sort of mental ailment. You'll know if you're feeling sluggish, depressed, or anything else. You'll have an immediate positive reaction from getting in the water. In hermetics, they talk about cold water having a magnetic quality, and that could be understood scientifically as being cold water is denser in terms of the molecules being closer together, and water can hold structure in that way. And if we want to get a little esoteric, it can hold energetic structure, and if we're plunging ourselves in cold water, or having cold water go over us, it's sloughing off that sort of stagnant or negative or imbalanced energies that we might have in our auric field or inner body, whatever term you want to use to describe that. But this can get carried away by the water, and you can feel incredibly invigorated. If you ever had a cold shower after a really hard workout or a hard day's work, you'll know that feeling I'm talking about. But of course, the first hurdle is actually getting in there and having the cold shower, so I'm going to show you how to do that. But first I also want to mention that you want to have a shower that is free of chlorine and other contaminants, and you either need to be on a well system, have a spring hooked up to your house and have spring water coming out, or you can have a filter on the water coming into your house, or the best option in terms of affordability and least amount of hassle is to get a shower filter. And if you live in a city or any municipality where you're getting water in that has chlorine, I don't know if carbon filters don't generally take out fluoride, but they do take out a number of other chemicals which you definitely do not want getting on your body. And actually with a cold shower, it's beneficial in the fact that you're not having your pores open up and you're not going to be taking in as many of these contaminants or things you don't want. So a shower filter is even more recommended if you're doing hot showers on a regular basis. And you can check out below, I have a link to where you can find a great shower filter. There's 2 different models there and you can choose which one you want. You can just easily hook it up to your shower system that way. As a disclaimer, you'll probably want to avoid cold showers if you're in the 7th month or later in your pregnancy, or if you're already have problems with low body temperature, and that could be because if you have an eating disorder or anything that can cause that. Also, immediately after a workout, I'd recommend doing cold-hot water exchanges, so going from hot to cold, about 1 minute on each. And that's just because you don't want your muscles to suddenly get shocked into tightening up. You want to have some hot water to be able to keep them open and help flush and move stuff around. But by switching back and forth from hot to cold, you're actually pumping blood in and out of the muscles and the skin as well, moving toxins in those areas. So it can actually be the best things to do the hot-cold alternating after a vigorous workout. So I also want to say, cold showers are hard at first, but within the first 15 seconds of being under the cold water, it gets possible to actually stay under there, and you reach a point where it's actually quite comfortable. And also after a few days of doing this, you're going to get used to it and it's not going to be as hard. Of course, in the winter, if you're going to be doing this, which is even probably the best time to do it because you're so invigorated and you're not sluggish going out into the world, which we often do when we're getting out of bed and it's like the air is cold, etc. But yeah, just have a heater in your bathroom so that when you get out you're not too cold, obviously. And yeah, I'm going to turn the tap to here, and as you can see it's blue, so you know I'm actually having a cold shower. Without further ado, I'm going to turn the water on and you're going to see my reaction. Oh good God. Oh. That is cold. And I'm already past the point where it's not even painful anymore. It's that initial shock that's hard, and it's the mental aspect that's the hardest. You have to get past your mind and then just do it. So this sure beats coffee for waking you up in the morning. It's a great way to start the day, and definitely if you're having trouble with it at first, start with a hot shower and then at the end of your shower, give about a minute on a colder temperature. Don't necessarily go all the way cold right away. Take it slowly and increase the cold and the amount of time you do it for over time, and you're pretty soon doing full-on cold showers. And like I also didn't mention that this is great for toning the skin. It's very astringent, well, in the sense that it's keeping the skin tight and not promoting sort of like the flaggy sagginess of excessive heat that excessive heat can cause. I mean, if you think of people who spend a lot of time in the hot tub, what do you feel like when you get out of that? How does your skin feel after you spend a lot of time in your hot tub? It's kind of like saggy and hanging off of you, and if you're continually doing that, your body just starts to learn to be that way. It starts to grow in this sort of hanging, saggy type of way. So check out the links below and have fun having cold showers from now on.